Hello my friends, this is Jeannie. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. It's been a little bit since I last posted, my friends. I think it's been about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more, not sure. Reason for that being that end of January I was celebrating my birthday. It's now February, so I thought I would get back into the routine. So let me share with you what I have been working on. I, not too long ago, mentioned a challenge, the Altered Index 2025 challenge. And I mentioned that I was going to participate in that. So that is what I have been working on. I was not at all familiar with this challenge. Apparently there was one in 2024, also hosted by Nonstop Paper Crafts. I will try to remember to link her channel down below. But in 2024, she had a prompt list, and you would use those prompts to alter index cards. And there were 52 prompts. So a prompt a week for the 52 weeks of the year. So it's a year-long challenge. I saw the flip through of her index cards for 2024. Beautiful index cards, very inspiring, motivated me to participate in 2025. I am going to do it a little different. I am not going to alter index cards simply because I don't want to have to find a space to store index cards. I have no space to store index cards. What I do have are plenty of unused journals on my bookshelf. I also have set a separate goal of, for this particular year-long challenge, what I want to do is use items that I have. And I'm kind of on the bubble about, meaning, do I want to keep them or do I want to pass them along, donate them, just not have them in my room anymore because for whatever reason, they're just not something that is working for me right now. I am on prompt number 8, which I guess technically should be week 8. But it is what it is. I'm not going to stick with the timeline set by the challenge. I'm just going to do them when I want to do them. And if that means I sit and do multiple in one session, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to stop the flow simply because it's supposed to be one a week. So what I thought I would do is share with you the process for week 8 and then go back and show you weeks 1 through 7. Reason being, I'm finding that for these particular prompts, I've kind of created steps in my head, and I'm using those steps pretty much to complete every single prompt up to this point. It will be mixed media. I will be using some products that you've heard me mention in the past. So far, the biggest source of inspiration for me is the Art by Marlene Paper Elements. The journal I am using, it is I believe this is a Dylusions journal. It is actually a calendar / journal. What I like about this journal is the fact that the page is done. On the one side you have your weekly, and on the other side you have a page that has it's fully decorated. Will I be adding? Absolutely. Will I be changing it up a little bit, using some of my own gesso, paints, stencils, stamps? Absolutely. But there might also be occasions where I keep the page as is, simply because of time and because I'm not a fan of this. I will also be collaging on the adjoining page. It's a good opportunity for me to use a lot of collage papers and different background papers that I have and that I would like to use. I'm also going to be using washi tape. So now you have a general sense of what I'm working with. So let's get into this page. The prompt for week 8 is shattered images. Coincidentally enough, I have a stamp. This is by Tim Holtz, and it is called Shattered. It is CMS 466. I thought I would use this somehow. We have some black here, so I think I want to just go ahead and use some of this StazOn jet black ink and just stamp some of this on the page. I think maybe I'm gonna go a little more. Oh, perfect. Random. This is a very large stamp. But it's working out better than I had hoped. Let me press on a different section so it doesn't look so uniform. I think that's a good start. Okay, so clearly something needs to be done so that this lovely pops. Right now she's not popping. She's just blending right in. So I'm going to use my gesso. And I think what I will do is grab a brayer. And create some white space where she will pop a little bit. I don't have to go too crazy in creating that space because I do plan, I think the plan is for me to layer some of these paper elements behind her head, and that'll help some. I think what I want to do is add more of this purple, and for that I'm going to use some mark making stamps. These are also art by Marlene. These are from her past Advent calendars. Do I want that? No, I think I want something more like, I like the dots. Let's go with the dots. Let's use some dots. I keep these plastic covers on my StazOn inks because I think I read, yeah, it says it right there on the top. It says, do not discard protective inner cover. So I don't throw them out because it says not to. And it's been working out because I've had these ink pads for a long time and they're still very juicy. So now that I have this white and I've kind of dialed back that pink a little bit, I brought back some of that purple. I want to bring back more of the black. So I am going to go back to my stamp. So I'm sure many of you already heard news that Tim Holtz is retired from creating new products. So he's not retired from the crafty community, but he's not going to be designing any more new product. And I'm not mad about that. I'll tell you why. I think what he's doing is just awesome. Number one, he's still staying involved in the whole creative space. He's just taking a break from the product design space. And that's perfect because it gives us all, I think, an opportunity to kind of take a deep breath and catch up. He has just been, it's been release after release after release after release, and it's a lot. And you just get new product and you don't even get time to enjoy that product before it's time to move on because he got new product. So I am actually very happy that he is no longer designing, and instead he's going to focus on the product that is already out there, because it gives me some a moment to catch my breath. I need to catch my breath, and also to just focus and play with what I already have, and I have a lot. I've mentioned in past videos that when I decluttered my crafting space, what I decided to do was just keep stamps and products from those creators that just whose aesthetic I enjoy and who just make me happy, and he's one of those. So I welcome the opportunity to just pause and enjoy what I have without feeling this need to get, the latest and greatest. Also, it gives me a chance to kind of go back and look at past collections and see if there's anything that I want to pick up that perhaps I didn't pick up in the past, because I kept thinking, down the road he's going to come out with something new, and I want to, save up and get that. So that being said, I have already started going back and picking up some stamp sets that I've passed simply because I was anticipating another future release. And that is how I picked up this shattered stamp, and also picked up this other stamp set that I've been using called it's called Sign Painter, and it's CMS 484. I've been using the numbers to stamp the pages every week, and it's just been working out well. So, and also Tim is still teaching. He's here. He recently held a live, and it was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing to watch and just craft along with him. It was just great. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm creating a little frame kind of around our image here to kind of highlight it, make it the focal point. And what I like to do is when I create these collages, to avoid forgetting where I had what pieces, where I had what pieces, I tend to kind of glue from the top down, first gluing the pieces onto each other and then gluing them onto the page. I didn't have a name for this method until I watched Dia Barbara, who is 49 Dragonflies here on YouTube, and she does something similar, And I think she calls it the top-down method of gluing, which I thought was really cute and appropriate, because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm gluing from the top down. Okay, so this little flower. My hands are already inky and sticky. Such is life. Okay, this little this little paper element was there. So just like that, I have a background that allows her to just pop better than she was before, that's for sure. What I can do is, if I want this to pop a little bit, I think before I glue her onto there, I am going to use a fine point Sharpie and just kind of outline my tremors are kicking in a little bit, so the end result is that some of my outlining went completely off the beaten path, and that's okay. It is what it is. It's a new normal for me, so I just accept that that's the way it is. When it happens, it happens. C'est la vie. Can't get mad about something you can't control, right? But I think that pops a little better, don't you think? I think so. And now I'm going to take this one, and I think for her, what I will try to do is maybe take a different marker and kind of cover up her white edges with black. Hopefully that'll be enough so that I don't have to try to outline her as well. Might be enough, might not be enough, I don't know. I was doing good managing my tremors. It's the end of the day, they finally kicked in. Okay, that works. Okay, so I think she should probably go somewhere around there. I am going to take my scissors and just even this out on the bottom a little bit. Coincidentally, doesn't it look like she's smelling that flower? Not planned, but that's how it happened. Once I get her glued onto the page, I think I want to add some splatters. I think that looks really cute. So what I need to find now is a sentiment, and I have the Essentials sticky quotes. Let's see if we find something in here. I kind of like this one. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. Let's go with that. I like that a lot. A lot. And I think, I think up here is perfect. Coincidentally, mistakes. Kind of vibes with the whole shattered idea, right? When you make a mistake, it's like, you know, kind of when you shatter something, things don't go exactly the way you had hoped or the way you planned. You might break some things along the way. That's okay, because mistakes are proof that you were trying. I think that might be on a little wonky, but that's okay. So am I. I'm a little wonky. Oh, I think that's perfect. So what I will do is grab my Twisby and just outline this a little bit. Oh, this is going to be fun with the shaky hand. Oh boy. All right, we'll try. Pause and lift. I find that helps. Pause, lift. Okay. Then what we need is some ink splatter. We'll use white ink. I have a splatter brush. This is my, no, this isn't it. Is it it? No, that's a new brush. I don't want a new splatter brush. Where's my old splatter brush? Oh no. Oh no. Where did she go? Oh, it's my favorite brush. It's the brush I want to use, but I have to find it. Okay, give me a minute, my friends. I'm insisting that that is the brush I want. I am such a silly bean. This is the brush. I forgot that I washed it and gave it a good cleaning, so it didn't look the way it normally looks, so it kind of threw me, but this is my splatter brush. Oh boy. So for splatter, I am using a Winsor Newton ink, white. This and gold are the two, gold are the two that I use the most. This is the second bottle of white that I've purchased since I started using this ink. Same with the gold. So I am going to cover her face and just splatter about. I have some very fine splatter, and then I have some thicker drops. So I think what I will do is not completely dry the thicker ones and blot them off and see if I can create a crater type effect, just to add a little more texture, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, hopefully it will in a minute. I may have dried it off too much. Okay, well, it happened here. You see here, by not drying it completely and instead blotting it with a paper towel, it creates a bit of a crater effect there. I learned that from Barbara, again, at 49 Dragonflies. Between Barbara and Louisa Hensel, who is a mixed media genius, I learn a lot. So that is the completed page for the week 8 prompt, and I think it looks fabulous. But we are not done, my friends. Now I have to do something with this side of the page. I'd like to use some of these scraps in the back. Let's see if we can put something together here. I know it's gonna look crazy colorful at first, but that's when washi helps. And the washi will be great at breaking the page. Do I want to add black and white? I think the page before it has some black and white. Do we want to use the black and white, or do we want to go with like more crazy color? I kind of like that. So I'm going to go with the crazy. Embrace the crazy. For this, I'll use my Scotch glue stick. Corners. I know this is looking a little crazy right now, but trust the process. Also, it's a quirky little book, so it's all good. Okay. So that page is covered. That takes care of the collage paper. Let me grab my washi. Oh, great. So what I'm finding with my washi, because I haven't been using them, and also maybe because of the space where I stored them, a lot of my washi is not so easy to peel off the tape, to peel off the roll, I should say. And I get like this weirdness. You see this? Where it just, I don't know. And the older the washi is, the more likely that is to happen. And it's somewhat frustrating, but it's no one's fault but my own, because, you know, these things are not meant to last forever. And if you don't use them, what do you think's going to happen? Nothing good. Eventually they start to fail. So is it going to stop me from using it now? Nope. Just means it's a little frustrating trying to get a clean piece off, but I'm a patient person. Most of the time, not always. So let's see if we can find the end of this one. I think I used this one before. I used this one before. It's kind of like a 2-for-1, right? I create the one spread that works with the prompt, and then I get to just collage with complete abandonment on the opposite page. I think we want golds. And use up washi. Pretty washi. I think that looks really good. That's pretty cool. feast your eyes on this. Super colorful. I think we are up to number 8. So let's take our number 8. And for the 8, I am using, again, the Sign Painter CMS 484. This is quickly becoming one of my favorites. I'm going to use the black. Stays on. And that is perfect. Here is the completed page using the prompt for week 8. And the prompt was, what was it? I already forgot. Shattered images. So, works for me. What do you think? So that is my process. Those are the steps that I'm following in this particular journal. Let me actually round the corners like I said I would. And then I'm going to share with you the completed pages for 1 through 7. That way I don't have to explain the process, right? Because you got to see it in action. I don't mind explaining things, but sometimes you just got to see it. In fact, actually, before we move on, let me use my Distress ink, Black Soot, and just edge the pages a little bit. I don't know, I just like it better that way. Okay, so let's turn to the beginning, and I will share with you what I did for weeks 1 through 7. Same steps, maybe just different papers or paint colors or materials or theme. As I mentioned earlier, I did start off by using those collage sheets by Dylusion, and quickly fell out of favor, and I switched to Art by Marlene. I tried, I really did, but just wasn't feeling it, and I wasn't gonna fight it. So here's day 1, or week 1. Week 1 was alphabet or dictionary. The dictionary page, I don't know if you can see it, well, I think you can still make it out, is part of the background. And the page I pulled from the dictionary, I made sure it had the word crafty. It also had the word craggy and craft and cram and cramped, but I love that it's crafty and, you know, then crag and then craggy. I don't know why that gave me the chuckles, but it did. Here's the page I created for dictionary page. And again, these are all part of that Dylusion's collage sheets set. It's from years past. Did some stamping and ink splattering, same as I did the other page. I always ground my image, my friends. I just don't like things floating. I need them to be grounded, unless they have wings or they're underwater and they're not meant to be grounded. Okay, so, and again, here's the use of the background papers and some washi tape in that stamp. That was week 1. For week 2, the prompt was butterflies. And I did some layering in the back, added some collage. This is Tim Holtz collage paper in the background. I don't know if you can see it. It's part of a butterfly. Here's the other half of the butterfly right here. I don't know the name of this collage paper, but I have a roll of it and pulled that out from my stash and decided to use that and painted over it, inked some splatters, also added some tissue paper from an old sewing pattern, and this is Dylusions. I do have some Tim Holtz transparencies. This one I think is part of a collection, maybe it's called butterfly wings, something like that, and I just stapled them onto the figure before I glued the entire thing onto the page. And the sentiment here reads, I catch dreams and dreams catch me. And she is grounded. You see that? It's got to be grounded. Although it wouldn't be, well, yeah, it would be bad. She shouldn't be floating around because she looks like she's standing, not really flying. So I grounded her. And same collaging here. And there is the 2. Week 3 is when I started to struggle with those Dylusion collage sheets and really struggled with this one and knew it was time to just change course, abandon ship. I wasn't going to force it beyond this page. So for week 3, the prompt was patterns. So in addition to the background page that was already here, I used some Tim Holtz stencils that had repeat patterns to create additional patterns. And again, just layering of some ink splatter. Yeah. I didn't even dial back the background much. I was really struggling with this one. I took a break after this one. I think I put the book down for, I did this right before my birthday, and then put the book aside and didn't even come back to this until after my birthday. So there we are. And there is day 3. Day 4, once I changed my materials and the products I was using and switched to Art by Marlene, just my creative spirit came back and I started having fun again. So here's another page. For day 4, it was poetry, and because I was doing it in February, most of the poetry we see for the month of February tends to be, you know, like I love you or I like you type stuff. So I kind of created a cute little moment here between 2 green giraffes, one wearing a pink tutu, because why not? The background here was lots of fun to make. I really enjoyed this background, and used some Tim Holtz Distress paints in colors that I thought coordinated well with the page. And I used a stamp, another stamp set, which is really amazing. I love this one so much. It is called Slight Alterations and is CMS 060. This is an OD. You can see right here is the stamp that I used. See it? Right there. I stamped it. And right here. Okay, and then again, more splatter. And that was the prompt for week 4. Week 5, this one's a little weird, but then again, so am I, so it's all good. Week 5, the prompt was puzzles, and instead of using that literally like a puzzle piece or something, I just created some kind of a layout that makes you go, it's a bit puzzling, like what's going on here? And any conversation or sentiment that starts blah blah blah, to me is like, what? That's puzzling. So to me, I went more with the vibe instead of a literal puzzle. Hope that makes sense. And here I use a stencil that's brand new to me. I got it for me, from me to me for my birthday. It is a Tim Holtz layering stencil. And what is this one called? It's called Sparkle Fade. It is THS 188. So pretty. And I use that in the background. Some more paint splatters. I outlined her in black but I think I went a little too heavy with my all pencil right here. Maybe a little too heavy-handed, but that's okay. I'm not mad about it. She's just really got a heavy shadow behind her. And here, more collaging, more layering, more washi tape. And I stamped 5. Here is 6. 6 was a lot of fun too. This is probably one of my favorites. For 6, it was culture. And what I decided to focus on was more of a vibe, a mantra. You know, your vibe attracts your tribe. So I saw these beautiful mermaids in one of Art by Marlene's Paper Element books. I have been eyeing them for a little bit and have been wanting you to use them. And when I saw this background page, it was very sea, water like, so thought it was perfect. I have 2 mermaids and some kind of sea critter, maybe an octopus, and some paint splatters. And this is one of those instances where I didn't do much to the background. I didn't mind keeping the background as is and just added some splatter. And more collaging here. Here I have the number 6. And then there is 7. 7, I really worked that background. It was a black and white background, actually. I think I saw it repeat. This must repeat at some point. It looks like it does. So it was, this was the original background. And that's what it looks like now. Oh my, did you see that tape just come right off? Washi tape failure. Either I didn't add glue or I didn't add enough glue. But now you see what I mean when I say that washi tape doesn't last forever. You gotta use it or you lose it. But back to the background here. I used some gesso to kind of blur out that background some. Added some black using my distressed crayon. Smudged it all around some. This guy here is part of a background from this paper pad, Out of This World, Art Tea paper pad. And there it is there. I'll show you what the, here it is. See it now? I fussy cut the owl and used the rest of the page over here when I was collaging the page next to it. So what I did is fussy cut this little owl. Well, not little, not so little, it's kind of tall owl. And that is the focal point. And at his feet is just this cute little quirky village. I didn't even tell you. Did I tell you? Did I tell you what the prompt for 7 was? Doors and windows. That's why I created a little village, a quirky village at his feet. And you can see all of the doors and windows. I did use a fine point Sharpie to outline the windows, darken them a little just to make them pop, since that is the prompt. And I blurred out the background because I really did want your eyes, to just be drawn here and kind of work their way down. So shocking to the peepers maybe because it's really colorful, but I enjoy it. I did use my Posca pens, markers, and added some dots in matchy colors onto the owl, just for some another interesting element. And here the creators worked out better when I added that white paint splatter. I didn't dry it as long as I did that other page and got a better crater effect. You can see it better there. And here, more scraps of different collage sheets. And I think it looks great. And then we have week 8, or prompt for week 8 that we did together. So, yeah. Thank you, my friends, for watching. I really do appreciate you, and I hope to catch you all in my next video, my friends. Until next time, bye-bye.